Hello, everyone. It's me, Sarah Burns, and the Inviisibles. And today we're doing our weekly Wednesday Q&A. So this is a great opportunity for you to ask a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And the Invisibles are a group of spirit mentors that I've been working with since I was young, that I am at a stage now where I've created space and through a lot of practice and training, feel that I can actually allow them to channel through me. So whatever you're feeling drawn to me for, perhaps today's the day or maybe another day in the future. So how this goes is we're first just going to be setting the space and setting the intention that all the beings that are ready and ripe to receive a transmission today or whenever you see this are coming in from a place of being able to understand how to believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it. So knowing if there's something coming up for you in here that is important, this is a gem for you, even if it's from a question another person asks, there's a lot of universal truths that can speak to us. And so if you're feeling called to come, it might even just be because there is something that you're ready to hear that's coming through this transmission. Leave it. So if something comes up that doesn't really resonate for you in regards to maybe your question and it doesn't feel correct or right and in from a gut feeling, then honor that. And if something feels very important to you but you're not quite ready to digest it, then I encourage you to just lend it. So like offering it almost like a vibrational seed into the earth to return to when you're ready to work on it. So moving on, setting the intention to that for this duration of this call, all beings who come onto this sacred space feel seen and witnessed and felt and heard and acknowledged, even from a distance, even if you don't interact with me, knowing that we're in a temple of awareness, of consciousness here, and it's up to you to receive what you're ready for. So as it goes, the first question that I have will come after. I'm just gonna use these bells and just sending this vibration, this sound into your home if you agree to that, clearing the space around me, bringing us into center to be present for this transmission. All right, so how this usually works is I get to ask the first question. So I'm going to be asking the question today is in regards to how to create space for the inner child in our life, how to prioritize our own inner child. What if the inner child could make a wish list, So I'm asking the Invisibles, what's their perspective on possibly the inner child in each of us and how we can bring that more into our lives, because I know it's very important to me. So this is about the inner child. Here we go. Whew. Discipline is not the remedy needed when the part of you who is developing themselves into who they're capable of becoming, once all the tools, all the internal resilience and resources have been compiled, have been explored. Okay. So the inner child in you, this metaphor, this symbolism, is connected to the part of you who exists before the regiment of socialization, that exists before dynamics of commitment, of responsibility to beyond anyone beyond yourself. The inner child holds space for the joy and the play and the curiosity and the wonder and the magnitude, appreciation, or not appreciation, but acknowledgement that the magnitude, what's possible in this world, is not something that needs to be turned into a logical avenue of thoughts. The inner child is here to develop themselves for the sheer joy of moving in whatever course, whatever direction source within them is flowing. Okay. And this inner child is the same one that reminds you to develop your instinctual nature to play and harmonize with the surroundings that are supporting you, because there's the surroundings around you are your playing field, they're your environment, they're the sustenance or the things that cripple you. So in creating space for your inner child, you have to understand where in your life are there dynamics or situations that challenge the core nature of trust, of vulnerability, of acceptance, of curiosity, of innocent curiosity. If there's something in your life that is getting in the way, is creating rules and regulations, I can't do that until this happens. I don't have enough time to develop this. This is too much for me to consider bringing into my life or exploring. I'll get to this later. These things are constructs that actually deprive the instinctual and sporadic energy that the inner child brings and is imperative to developing your skills in this world. For the impulsive nature within you to explore, to experience and express whatever emotion is flowing through you, to allow life to flow through you without compromise or fear or comparison to how that may look to others, to how you may look compared to others. The inner child is here to be a sanctuary of exploration. So to create space for them in your life, you need to find a way of allowing the impulses to flow through you when they come. And that is the space you create. The space of saying, yes, I'm going to explore this against odds, explore this against logic, explore this against the fears that have me feeling I'm going to be projected upon, put down, discouraged. The fear that by expressing my vulnerability, my enthusiasm, my creativity, my play, my wonder, I won't be seen for the other areas of my life. But I want you to know that to express that gives life to the other areas of your life. Thank you. Hello, everyone, popping on. So that was all about the inner child. I have a friend visiting who is very playful, and as they've been around, it's just reminding me of how much I value play and how much that gives life into my existence. And where have I created systems or constructs around me in my day-to-day life that not only dissuade but repel the instinctual play that wants to come through me, the instinctual silliness, goofiness, impulses to just be sporadic. So that was what that was about. So for anyone popping on, hello and welcome. If you want to say who you are or give a little hello, that'd be great, because I can't actually see who's on. I just see numbers. And also, this is a great opportunity to ask yourself a question for yourself, humanity, or the world, to ask the Inviisbles. So if that's something that you've come on for, if there's something within you, and to know that you don't have to perfect how you're coming across with that question. Even just like a little hint of the direction that you want to go in is good enough for them. So while I'm waiting for a question and drinking my, oh, hey Beth, hey Tamara. Here's a sip of ginger chaga, milk thistle, pau d'arco, orange peel tea. Cheers. And turmeric. So while I'm waiting for a question, I was just going to do a little intermission song. Also, if there's a question that somebody wants to ask me that feels more personal and they want to be more anonymous in that, you can send me a private message and I'll take a peek to see if anyone's done that. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a little intermission song because I can. Let's see. All right. Little do you know just where you're going, but if an anchor was thrown into your future, would you pull yourself forward from the ropes that attaches you to your future? Oh, mother baby, can you carry me onto the road forward? Can you carry me onto the road? A long-waited chariot, it holds no one but me, and it is my purpose to align myself with destiny. But choices unwind and weave from my spine, from the molecules and the particles and the hair follicles. Those are the rhythms of my destiny. Those are the rhythms of my choice. Those are the rhythms of my future voice. Those are the rhythms of the sea. Come on through me. All right, that was an intermission song. And if I don't get a question, I'm just going to double check. All right, I'm just going to ask another question. Here we go. I think for me specifically, I found a parasite, or I released a parasite from my body. And it's been this really fascinating journey for me because it was so graceful, and I didn't actually feel the kind of discomfort and like, what is this that I thought I would if I ever experienced that. I more felt this sense of like, what an amazing gift to just be able to see this thing leaving me, to be able to know that whatever is within me, that's been energies that have been, kind of feeding off my own being in some ways, or taking and stripping energy from my life to live fully, I feel are manifesting, in the form of this parasite that I get to have the great opportunity of releasing. Yes, healing with my visitors. I know. And it's actually, yeah, it's been really graceful. That's why I got my good tea going. And I have this belief that everything that I experience, or any ailments that I experience, are leaving me. So if they've reached my physical form, then it's actually something to be excited about, because something, whatever that was deep within me, whatever that deep subconscious belief or that pattern or that stagnation is, now I'm ready and I've done the work to bring it to the surface, to bring it into the physical plane so that I can truly deal with it and see its repercussions. And so that's kind of my intention, is whatever that is, just like pushing it forward in this time of transformation that I have going. So I'm going to ask a question for anyone popping on. This is a great opportunity to ask yourself a question for yourself, humanity. Ask the Inviisbles a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And this next one that I'm asking is in relation to parasites, in relation to these visitors that can live in our bodies, and any insight to them, any insight to their purpose, any insight into how to address them. Because with what I'm going through, it's this journey of, I also work with, like with my clients, I work with entity, assessment, I call it. And so I'm practicing how to use these techniques that I do in the spirit plane with these spirit energies, or these displaced souls, with this parasite that's leaving my body. And it's been a really beautiful practice of like, how can I acknowledge that the consciousness within these beings, how can I honor their process, and how can I create space for their consciousness to go where it's needed, where they can actually be fully nourished and thrive on in a way that works for them and their host, or however that functions. So this is about parasites, and feel free to put your question on the thread. And if you have a question, a private question, you can send me a private message. Here we go. Keeping what's important to you is not how you make it through the doors that hold you back, okay? Because sometimes the actual nature of things that you value get in the way of you creating space for a new set of values, a new system of beliefs that are here to encourage and instill greater trust in the story that you're weaving for yourself, the journey that's before you. Because to hold on to values that have been established yet not tested necessarily for a long time is to undervalue or underestimate how much you've grown in this life. Because perhaps qualities of seeing or appreciating, or choices that you make, have come from something that is outdated, where the values that inspired or instigated the protocol to think in a certain way, to take actions, to have your own impulses, may have changed because you undeniably have changed with them. Okay. So in regards to parasites, in regards to essences that are within your being, within your body, that are feeding off of your system, are getting life from you, are sharing and becoming part of your body's ecosystem, you have to look into the part of you that asked for a support network during a challenging time of your life. The part of you that wanted help in digesting all that was coming to you in the forms of possibly opportunities, connections, new stories, right? How have you been asking for energies to help you assimilate all that you can't fully understand or integrate, right? So if these are the approaches that you're coming with, then the question for yourself is to see and seek why you have taken trust away from your innate knowing that help could come in a way that didn't have to feed off of you. Perhaps you're a healer. Perhaps you're someone who works with helping and assisting many beings. So when you're asking for someone to come and digest and help you, or an energy to help you assimilate your life, as a healer, as a being that works with supporting others, you could easily create space for a parasitic energy to come. For yes, they're helping you eat, digest in the form of maybe food and nutrients, but still symbolically, in the form, they're symbolically taking on aspects that you're taking in, and it's feeding them. Okay. So you're giving to them. So as a healer, the desire for reciprocation, it's tricky, right? That you could actually create space for another energy to come to help you take from you, yet receive from your vitality. So let's switch the script. Why do they say yes to this agreement? Because there is a yes in some form. We have instincts. We have primal feelings and senses and directions that tell us and give us that spark. Just say if the water has a parasite in it, the water has been infiltrated. Your body has a conversation with that water. Perhaps if you cough before trying to drink the water, or you start thinking about something else, your body may be in the process of warning you, this is not for me. So look into your life. Where is your body doing its best to tell you stop, to tell you investigate this more? Make a conscious choice. And then where have you overridden that and taken in that water and taken in that parasite? Okay. So parasites are not evil. So the word is. They are not here to demolish your identity. They're not here to drain you from your life force. They're not here to extinguish, is that the word? Something. What's important to you. They're here to take care of their lives. And you need to learn, or anyone that's experiencing this, what boundaries feel like when implemented from a place of compassion, but assertive knowing that You must honor and develop the strength needed to reinforce the boundaries you have with other people, with other energies, and in this case, with taking on a parasite, with taking on and becoming a host to an energy in need. Because that's what it is. It is an energy in need. It is an energy in need of sustenance. It's an energy in need of growth, of reproduction, of completing its cycle. And you are the one that can put those firm boundaries on. You can acknowledge the need and you can claim that your temple is not there to support and reinstill the belief that you are here to bring that need into being a met need. There's more to this, but thank you. Hello, everyone. Popping on. Looks like is my internet kind of slow? I kind of see my face making funny. Well, I hope you're. Looks like I've frozen, possibly. Oh dear. Okay, I think I've stopped being frozen. Hope you guys got some of that transmission. I don't know when it froze on you. So let's see. So for anyone popping on, this is a great opportunity to ask the Inviisibles a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And you can do so in the threads. And if it's a private message, you're welcome to send me a personal message. And we can still hear you. Oh, good. I saw my face in the background being like, okay, perfect. Well, that's the important part. Oh, it didn't freeze. Yes. All right, so I'm going to check my personal messages. Hello, all the new ones. See if I've got any messages here. And while I'm waiting, feel free to put something on. Okay, great. I think we've got a question. Oh, there's all the questions I couldn't see. All right, so let's see who came first. All right. Thanks for bearing me. I'm understanding my... All right, so the first question that we have is, I'm hoping I could ask a question incognito, so I will not say who sent me this, to respect what the answer might contain. I would like to ask the Inviisibles what guidance they might have for me on my relationship with my beloved. All right, so you beautiful anonymous being out there on planet Earth, this is for you. And then there's another question that I have coming on after that, lined up. Okay, here we go. So question for this individual's, any guidance that they may have on this individual's relationship with their beloved. You know who you are if you sent this. Oh. You're not turning the pages quick enough, is what we have to share with you. That there are some areas in the story that feels like it's been written before, that we see you skimming or backtracking, trying to understand more of the narrative before it fully plays itself out. So this symbolism, you're not turning the pages quick enough, is more in regards to how you choose to speak to each other about long-term plans, about incorporating new systems of exchange. This wording we know can be maybe confusing, but there is something that feels like it could restore a new kind of balance regarding exchange, whether it's understanding or acknowledging what unwritten, what subconscious, or we hear passive aggressive, passive desires that when aren't met are being turned into ammo. Not so much on your behalf, but in some ways, like how we're seeing this symbolism of okay, so they're seeing this symbolism. Don't let this be it's a little startling, but they're seeing the symbolism, my nose is very runny, of this, like, they're like a nuke. Sorry, my nose is very runny. Here we go. Woo! They're showing this image of like a nuke, like an atomic bomb. And don't worry, let me finish. But they're showing this image of like the symbolism of that there's some sort of thing that can destroy it all, like this feeling that either one or both of you each have of like that there's this atomic bomb, that there's this like ammunition that's just, it's under, maybe one or the other's control, not quite sure about that, and it's just waiting, and you guys acknowledge that the potential for at some point it could go off and obliterate, like, and so this might be like more of a subconscious feeling, but how, I guess, like, okay, they're gonna come back in. So it's not something that you want to destroy, right? Because to destroy the potential of complete obliteration may put you in that state of obliterating yourself in the process. Because what created this nuke in your relationship, or possibly in your genetic programming, this feeling of a need to have protection just in case things go haywire, right? So what created that? What energy created the need to feel that there's some sort of artillery or weapon, whether it's even just the one thing that if you were to do, or if your partner was to do, let's shift, we're going to shift speak. Turning into who you need to be around who your partner needs you to be is not the way of finding happiness or success. Okay. There are needs from both of you that cannot necessarily be met in the next 4 to 6 months, that are imperative to feeling sustained by the relationship in the long run. But right, what we want to share with you is that if there is something in you or in your partner that is fearing this obliteration, that is fearing that things could change in regards to a fight that's just disagreement that triggers one another beyond that line of being able to see or have compassion, what is, because how are you supposed to build a relationship on trust and acceptance if a bit of fear in regards to the ammunition or the potential eradication that can happen? So we're seeing something, we see that there's some sort of possibly a theme or what's this called, like a, not agenda, we're seeing something that's very important between the both of you, yet we see this dance kind of moving around the topic, okay? And perhaps it's the fear that bringing up that topic could instigate complete annihilation of all the goals and dreams and visions that you guys have agreed on. And we're not saying to necessarily dig up what this topic fully is yet, unless you already have a sensation. But to prepare yourself by setting the intention that you're building your own stamina and excitement and curiosity and internal reservoir to feed off of, so that you're going in the direction of desiring to know what this topic is, or how to work with this topic, how to engage each other in a conversation. Because without breaching this conversation, it's going to create a wall around itself, is what we're seeing. So this wall starts off small, but it can become a mirror. It can become something that you can forget that such an important aspect of your relationship isn't being explored or isn't being communicated about, because it feels safer to not broach there. It feels safer because both of you know that things can get stirred up. And are you strong and fortified enough in your relationship for things to get stirred up and not annihilate or crumble into obliteration? I think so. We're seeing this image of stone soup. And so stone soup for you, maybe this is something you could do with your partner, represents each person in the community, you know, or if you live with other people, or if you want to, each person comes and they bring something to the pot, right? And each of your gifts then is added to the greater creation. So figuring out what you're bringing to the pot is going to help a lot. Thank you. All right. That was for you, who you know who you are, who sent me that message. All right. So the next question we have is also anonymous. And here we go. So there's a few questions. So I'm going to see which one we want to pick. So I feel like the one. Ooh. Okay, there's some great questions here. Okay. So I'm going to start with the first one, because there might be time to go into another one. I have actually my daughter she has a play date today because school came off early, so I have a lot more time than I usually would. So I think we can get to more questions. So the first one, I'm not, but this person, that question says, I'm curious about blank's situation with her family. Why are things so hard? And so that kind of comes with, where is home and where will support come from? An individual who is going through, or has has gone hardships And so let's get into, is the Invisibles, can they pick up on anything? Like, why have things been so hard? Is there something that needs to be addressed? All right, so here we go. For a moment before going in, I'm going to use a little spray. This is a healer's ally. Hmm. There are things that occur to people in their life that are not necessarily from this life, though some may say it's all one life. In regards to this individual, they're holding something, it's an imprint of injustice that they've experienced that keeps playing itself out. There are some aspects that are personal sabotage, but why? Why is the energy turning in on itself to create repercussions of challenge? Why does this individual manifest growth or using challenge to grow from or to reset from? Okay. So some people can, how do we say? We'll rewind. This individual has built their life upon great joys and great successes, yet great tragedies within them, around them, because they desire to feel the complexity and the polarities in some ways of humanity, to be able to relate and understand how to speak to the injustice that is within their own body, that they've seen growing up. How do you speak to something if you can't feel it? Is this belief we say, and we hear a bit regarding this being. How can we also hear, how can I determine my destiny if so many others cannot theirs? How can I take action when the reactions in the past only lead to doubt, only lead to struggle because my attained goals are not enough to sustain me? My attained goals are not enough to sustain me. So perhaps your goals are not what you're seeking, and the goals that you for are not fully solid, are not fully committed to as something that's not, I want this to happen. The next stage from I want is I need this to occur. I need these resources, support. I need fresh water. And after, I deserve my needs met. I deserve the needs that I have because I to give to others, give to my family. If my needs are not met, what am I giving? What am I sending forth to the next generation? Coming from a depleted, self-sourced, but in the way of if you are sourcing from yourself, because this individual, it's important to feel that they're sourcing from themselves. That's a value. But if you, or in this, I'll say in this individual, is depleted in their beliefs that they have enough energy flowing through them, accessible to them, available, rechargeable energy, if that's not there, which we feel in some way is a belief that has been given possibly from childhood, that have energy, sustainable energy moving through your being that fuels your desires, your goals, your aspirations, it must come from another source. Okay. And if that other source is being resisted because of the desire to be self-sustaining, then that belief creates a corrosion in the manifestation. Okay. So what we say for this being, what we say for anyone experiencing turbulence of life circumstances that just keep rolling in like a wave, crashing over and over and pummeling you just when you're trying to get breath. What do you do when the waves are crashing at you at sea? Do you try to retreat back to shore? That's a possibility, but that could also crash. Retreat back to where you've come from. Well, in this situation, we're saying keep going. If this individual can keep going through and under the waves, can trust in their ability to go head on, but not in the way of clashing against the waves, but in the way of understanding that whatever's coming at them, whatever feels like karmic injustice, it's only going to hit them if they confront it face above the water. But to move through these circumstances, you need to dive beneath the wave. You need to stop meeting these confrontations, because in that way you're actually creating the confrontation. This energy wants to flow beyond you. It's not here to confront you. But this individual keeps putting themselves in situations where they're confronting this force of nature. So how can they go under the wave? How can they see what's coming at them and instead of choosing to fight or assert themselves towards it, choose to use the natural flow, counterflow, to dive under and gracefully allow that current to bring you up to surface where it's safe, where the waters are still and you can see what's coming from either direction, where you can make more choices. Because we see this individual hasn't had enough air to breathe, to be making choices from a grounded place in themselves because of all the challenges. So as for home, the first thing I heard was like the Comox Valley. I don't fully know where that is, but I just heard that, or maybe there's somebody from Comox Valley that has some sort of missing piece. That was pretty clear. All right, so I feel like they're complete with that. If there's anything else. Yeah. And so I'll send you, so everyone that puts a question on, I will create a minute and send you the minutes after so that you could actually replay this. And so this question was for somebody else that's very dear to that person. And so in that way, if they want, they can replay it to that person. Okay. So moving on. So for anyone else, oh, yay. Hey, Ming Mei. Nice to see you again or feel you present. And welcome to everyone that's present wherever you are in the world. If you want to, shout out, say hello, or say where you are on the planet, that's really fun. So moving on, let's see, do we have any questions lined up? And so for anyone popping on, I think I do have another question lined up, but this person's already received one answer, so you could be next. If you have a question that you feel you want to be anonymous with, you're welcome to send me a personal message, and I will honor that. And otherwise, we'll give a few moments. And so these are questions for yourself. Oh, from Montreal. Nice. Awesome. For anyone else, that I'm from BC, so I'm out here on Salt Spring Island, and I'm living on 16 acres. We've got ponies and baby ponies and orchards and gardens and lots of lovely folk. So let's see. The next question I have, unless another one. Oh, yay! Hey, Island. Sweet. This is great because I actually can't see who you are. I just see a number. So I love feeling and seeing a little glimpse of the faces and the presences. All right, so if I don't hear, I'm going to check my personal messages. All right. So we do have one here. All right, so this is also an anonymous message. So you say, "Hi, Sarah. Thanks for all the work and commitment to being available. Could the Invisibles provide some insight into the relationship that I've ended with an individual who I believed for a long time was my twin flame due to information I received during the eclipse from someone saying that he was actually an energy vampire and nothing more?" Oh dear. So I'm going to clarify. So you believe this being was a twin flame for a long time. However, so information that you received during the eclipse from someone saying that he was actually an energy vampire and nothing more. It's caused me a lot of confusion because I love him dearly, but a part of me knows this relationship is not healthy for the space I am in right now. And now it's very toxic each time we attempt to communicate. I also wonder if I'm manifesting a lot of his behaviors to come into my own strength and grow apart from him. Well, I mean, even the whole concept of the twin flame is an interesting, looking into that world or what that understanding is the twin flame is not always, it's like not a gentle path too. So when people talk about, desiring to find their twin flame, it's like, okay, are you ready for the challenges and for the upheavals? And are you ready for being confronted with strong aversions to certain soft points or aspects of yourself that need to be looked at or examined? Not to say this is that person, but twin flames are not like, I feel like a lot of people think it's just this peace and bliss all the way through, but no, that's more like soulmate work. That can be pure grace. But the twin flames make us work. They make us, do the internal navigation so that we can actually be polished by it. So, but as for you, my dear, let's see what the Invisibles have to say, if they have any insight on this relationship. And in relation, I guess you also said manifesting a lot of his behaviors to come into my own strength and grow apart from him. All right, well, let's see what insight they have. I hope everyone's got some tea drinking. I've got chaga ginger, powdarko, cleansing tea, milk thistle. Okay. It's funny. They want me to tell you guys before dropping in because some of you might be leaving, but I just added, I'm starting to do Ask the Invisibles, like half an hour sessions. So by donation, if you want to have personal work with me in the Invisibles, and that would be via Skype. So I just want you guys to know that. And you can find that on my website, which I'll send at the end of here. Okay. Now they're pleased. Okay. How you are giving to the distress of another is up to you, okay? So how you react to the emotional immaturities of another is up to you. It's up to all of you. But we understand that in intimate relationships, there's an innate design to relate to the emotional insecurities in some ways, almost as your own, because you want to relate to this individual. You want to, I will not say what you want to do, but we are seeing that there is an agenda between both of you that is capable of counting the blessings, but during this time, there's something that can't be hidden anymore. There's an area of your life connected to, we see spirituality or some sort of things working with, I don't know if it's angel or Angier, or we hear these words. And so if there are certain conversations in regards to your own understanding and your connection to the divine spirituality, to being open and receptive to these other light workers or other light beings, we see there's something in that that needs to be addressed. Because what wants to heal itself through you is going to need tools in that arena of sheer communication breakdowns and past life traumas, things like that can affect what's going on. But we're seeing more that there is a resilience and a desire you have to see something through, to follow through with a commitment you have to some sort of feeling of completion with this individual in some way. And we're not seeing that you need to do that even in the next 6 years, if you're not ready for that. That whatever the cycle is between the two of you, it doesn't have to end now necessarily. Because there is something that the two of you are learning from each other. But in order to digest all the lessons that have already come through, there needs to be a healthy amount of space and divine timing in place. So how can you orient yourself and your relationship, whatever phase it's in, so that each of you understands that space doesn't have to be a luxury. And we're talking energetic space as well as even space from conversing. So just because you desire to withhold some of your own energetic currents or pulses or conversations that happen through the cord between the you, which you see is in the lower abdomen, and him possibly in his spleen or pancreas, affecting, so your relationship affects those areas. So designing and diagnosing the part of you that feels, in order to honor the love that you've seen possible, you need to detach from you need to have, we don't think this sentence is going to make sense, but we'll just say it. Detach from the unconscious patterns that have woven each of you into places in each other's life that aren't really in alignment with the natural direction of each other, but of their relationship's potential. So perhaps you've put each other in boxes or in a certain idealism as to where the relationship could go. And since that's not lining up, each of you can be feeling some sort of restriction or feeling compartmentalized into an area of someone's life that doesn't fully resonate. We see this, we're seeing this body posture, this in concaving, closing the heart off in some ways. So the exercise we have for you and for anyone that's listening that may be in a similar situation is to find something in your life that you can encode with the intentions of being, how do we say this? So we're seeing some sort of stone. It looks almost like an andara or some sort of, it looks glass-like, but quite rough around the sides and clear. It's a clear stone, like a clear quartz, but it's kind of in a round but cut off area. So finding some sort of stone that you can encode with the vibration of what has felt powerful and right in the relationship with this person. Okay. And then taking that crystal, this is all optional, but taking that crystal and then putting it, so holding it in your left hand after you've encoded it with the joys, holding it in your left hand, okay? And thinking about the person and feeling in your body as you think about them, as you're still holding this crystal, what is your body's reaction now that you're thinking about this person? It might be thought forms coming up. It might be sensations in different organs or on the skin. What's your body language like? And then put that in your right hand, okay? And now that the crystal's in your right hand, we want you to feel what comes up in relation to the burdens and the challenges between each of you. And we want you to either see them or speak them or feel them. And allowing those energies to almost pool like in your left hand, as though you're taking those energies, those qualities of the relationship that's challenging, that's hurtful, that feels out of alignment, and putting that in your left hand. So now you've got the crystal encoded with the positive, life-affirming, inspired energies, and you've got this ball of energy with the challenges. And we want you to feel as though there is a weight in both hands, because it's going to show you where the balance is. And you can tell your body's going to show you. So if you have your palms up like this, or maybe on your side, I don't think you can see. Let me see like this. Notice if one palm becomes heavier, okay? So watch your body, your muscle memory is going to speak to you. And so whichever palm becomes heavier, it's going to show you where the natural balance is with this relationship. So if it's the affirming side with the crystal, then it's showing you that there is actually some very beautiful potential that can occur in this life still. And if it's the negative side, if it's the side, not negative, but the side that are more disempowering or sabotaging, whatever those energies are, if that one goes down first, then it's showing you that perhaps that's going to trump, that one's going to outweigh all the beauty that you guys can experience. And then make your choices from there. Thank you. Ew, that was interesting. All right. I thought that was a fascinating exercise using the energetic weight. Oh, I like this. Said, haha, they heard me. I was wondering if you would do a personal sessions with the Inviisbles. Yes, that is wonderful, and also a great opportunity for us to support you in this amazing work you do. Yeah, I know they must have heard you because they're like, wait, say this first. So for anyone, popping on, I did just like last week I'm creating a little experimental work because I've been doing this on live for a while, and now I'm offering 30 minutes to start with. I'm going to do longer sessions later, but 30 minutes with the Inviisbles by donation. So you can schedule. Actually, I should write this. So if any of you are feeling like you're like, I want to work, and usually 30 minutes I'd say is probably maybe 2 questions you can get in 30 minutes.